Have you ever seen a brand launch a new phone that looks almost exactly like the last one and still manage to surprise everyone? That's exactly what Samsung is doing with the Galaxy M36, which is now officially confirmed to launch in India. On June 27th, the phone is a follow-up to the Galaxy M35, and while it doesn't bring big changes to performance or camera, there's one little design choice that has got people talking. Before we get to that, let's look at what Samsung is actually offering this time. First, Samsung says the Galaxy M36 will come in three colors: velvet black, serene green, and orange haze. Visually, the phone is thinner now, with a thickness of just 7.7 millimeters, which makes it about 15% slimmer than the Galaxy M35. That's a nice change for people who didn't like how bulky the last model felt. But inside, things are staying pretty much the same. The Galaxy M36 will have the same Exynos 1380 processor that was used in the M35. So, if you were expecting a major speed boost or new features, you might be a little disappointed. When it comes to cameras, Samsung is sticking with what worked before. The phone still features a triple camera setup with a 50 megapixels main sensor, an 8 megapixels ultra-wide lens, and a 2 megapixels macro camera. And on the front, there's the same 13 megapixels selfie camera as the M35. No changes there either. But one of the biggest questions people have is about the battery. The Galaxy M35 came with a massive 6,000 mAh battery, and many fans are hoping that Samsung will at least match that, if not go even bigger. So far, Samsung hasn't confirmed the battery size for the M36, which leaves us waiting to see if they've managed to fit that large of a battery into the slimmer frame. Now, here's the part that's causing a bit of debate: the display. Samsung has changed the front camera cutout from the Infinity U style, which is basically a hole punch, to an Infinity U shape, which looks like a small U at the top center. Some people think this makes the phone look outdated, while others don't really care because the screen quality is still the same. The panel is protected with Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, so you're still getting strong protection, even if the look has changed a bit. As for the price, Samsung hasn't given us exact numbers yet, but if they follow the same path as last year's model, the M36 will likely start at around 20,000 Indian rupees, which is roughly 230 United States dollars or 200 euros. The top model may go up to 24,500 Indian rupees or around 280 United States dollars. It will be available for purchase through Amazon India and Samsung's official website. Is Samsung about to launch the thinnest foldable phone we've ever seen? Well, based on new renders of the Galaxy Z Fold 7 shared by OnLeaks and Android headlines, that might actually be true. Just by looking at the images, it's clear Samsung is going for a sleeker, thinner design this time around. For some context, last year's Galaxy Z Fold 6 was about 12.1 millimeters thick when folded and 5.6 millimeters when unfolded. Now, leaks suggest that the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will be just 3.9 millimeters thin when unfolded, which is a huge 30% reduction in thickness. That's thinner than many tablets and even some smartphones, but thinner doesn't always mean better, because as you slim down the body, some trade-offs show up, like the camera bump. According to these renders, the triple camera system on the back now sticks out even more than before. This is similar to what we've seen from other foldable makers like OnePlus and Google, where a better camera setup comes with a more noticeable camera bump, but Samsung seems to be balancing that by also making the phone wider than before, possibly by over 10 millimeters compared to the Galaxy Z Fold 6. This added width could make typing, multitasking, and watching videos on the internal screen feel more natural. Speaking of the display, when unfolded, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is expected to offer a 7-inch dynamic AMOLED display with a resolution of 1856 by 2160 pixels and a refresh rate of 120 Hz. On the outside, the cover screen will reportedly be 6.3 inches, also dynamic AMOLED, With a resolution of 968 by 2376 pixels and the same 120Hz refresh rate. To protect the outer screen, Samsung may be using Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which helps prevent scratches and minor drops. Now let's talk about performance. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is expected to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy processor built using the 3nm process, which means better energy efficiency and faster speeds compared to older chips. Alongside this, the device may come with 12 GB of LPDDR5X random access memory and 256 GB of UFS 4.0 internal storage, giving users fast loading and smooth multitasking. It will likely run Android 15 right out of the box, offering the latest features and software optimizations. Powering all this will be a 4,400 mAh battery, with support for 25-watt wired charging and 15-watt wireless charging, which should be good enough for a full day. What if I told you that Huawei just launched a foldable laptop with fans thinner than 2 coins? Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what they've done with the new Huawei MateBook Fold, the world's first 18-inch foldable PC. Now, making a foldable screen is already impressive, but Huawei didn't stop there. One of the biggest problems with folding laptops is cooling. How do you stop them from overheating when the space inside is already tight? Well, Huawei came up with something very different, a special cooling setup that includes dual diamond aluminum fans and a 3D anti-gravity vapor chamber. Let's break it down. Richard Yu, the chairman of Huawei Consumer Business, gave everyone a closer look in a recent teardown video. He opened up the MateBook Fold and showed off the insides, from the battery to the screen to the cooling system. But the real star here is the cooling tech. Most laptops use basic fans, but Huawei decided to go with 2 custom fans made from diamond aluminum. Aluminum is already known for being light and great at moving heat away, and Huawei made these fans even more efficient by designing them to be super thin, just 3.5 millimeters together. That's thinner than stacking 2 coins. These fans create a powerful airflow without taking up much space, which is important in a folding device where every millimeter counts. And because they're made of diamond aluminum, they're not only light but also stronger and more resistant to damage over time. Now, let's talk about the 3D anti-gravity vapor chamber board. Sounds complex, but here's what it means. Inside most laptops, when things heat up, a special liquid flows through tiny pipes to help carry that heat away from the main components. But in a foldable PC like this one, that liquid can get stuck, depending on how you're holding or using the device. That's where Huawei's solution comes in. Their 3D anti-gravity design allows the liquid to move against gravity and return to the heat source no matter how the PC is positioned. So even if you're using the MateBook Fold while it's propped up, laid flat, or folded like a book, the cooling system still works the same. They even expanded the cooling pipes from 3 to 4 lanes to make the heat move faster and more efficiently. It's a small change with a big impact, helping the device stay cool without needing extra space or bulky parts. This shows how much thought went into solving a problem that most users might never even notice, but they'll definitely feel the difference when their laptop doesn't get hot after long hours of use. Huawei admitted that heat was a huge challenge during development, but clearly, they cracked it with these 2 upgrades, the diamond aluminum fans and the 3D anti-gravity vapor chamber.